Hello everybody and welcome to the third episode of Impro at Cooking with Dopefish. In today's episode I'll be cooking the first ever viewer sent in request recipe thing. And this was requested by Som It's Britty, so thank you Britty. Anyway, today we will be trying our hands on an Indian dish called butter chicken. Now I'm not sure entirely how genuinely Indian this is, but it does have some very Indian-esque flavoring to it. And I'm not quite sure why it's called butter chicken, since it's basically chicken that's marinated in yogurt. But yeah, that's what the recipe said, so that's what I will call it. I'll be trying something a little bit different when it comes to the editing of this episode. It'll be a bit more snappy. Anyway, just let me know what you think in the comments if you like the new style or if I should go back to the more long-winded old style. And with that, let's get cooking. What we'll start off by doing is mixing all of our dry spices into a bowl. You can exclude pretty much any of these spices if you don't like the flavor it gives. But this is what I used. Of course you can add or remove whatever you want. Remember, it's your kitchen, you improvise however you want. You'll notice that I'm using parts here instead of actually giving you an exact measurement of the spices. That's just so you can adjust this recipe for however much chicken you're gonna use. The amounts I'm using here is for about 1 kilogram of chicken thigh. If you're having any trouble keeping up with what I'm putting into this mixture, you can just check the video description. The ingredients and amounts are all there. Now, I might have made my chicken a little bit underspiced, just because I'm a bit afraid of these Indian ingredients that I've never used before, like Garam Masala and all that kind of weird shit. So yeah, if you want to add a bit more to your chicken, that's perfectly fine and I would recommend it. Alright, so once we have our dry ingredients mixed up, we're going to move on to the wet ones. A really neat trick for when you're trying to get juice out of a lime or a lemon or something like that is if you roll it, like put your hand on it and roll it really hard against the bench, you'll just make it a lot easier to get that juice out of there. You don't have to squeeze so hard. Doing this left-handed is really hard. Alright, so it's time to add in the yogurt to our wet mixture. Just make sure you're using some unsweetened yogurt that is cookable. You don't want the yogurt separating when you're cooking it, and of course you don't want one of those breakfast yogurts with, you know, fruit and sugar in it. Alright, so just give that a good old stirring with a little spoony boon, and then add in the dry spice mix and stir it around some more until it's all mixed in. Alright, then next up it's time to cut our chicken fillets into little small pieces that you're gonna put in the marinade. This is a chicken thigh fillet, which has a bit of a different flavor from breast fillet, but you can use whatever you prefer. You could even use like canned chicken if you're some sort of American and you're stupid. Yeah, don't use that. Something you might want to do when you're doing like a marinade thing is to just wipe the chicken off, because there's bound to be some water in that there package you got it from, so just put it on a paper towel and pat it down a bit. It'll just A, make it easier to cut, and B, it'll make the marinade stick better to the chicken without watering it down. If you're using a chicken thigh like I am, you're gonna have to just trim off some of the excess fat and other sort of nastiness that's on there sometimes. Does anyone know what this is, by the way? I mean, it's red, so I assume it's blood or whatever, but why does it look like that? And nothing else looks like that. Can you eat that? I mean, should I remove it, or does it disappear if you cook it? Anyway, I'll just remove it just in case it's horrible and bad and whatever. I'm just curious, like, why there's one red part in a chicken thigh fillet and there's like nowhere else. There's no blood anywhere else. Is that like a connecting vein thing or I don't know, whatever. Just tell me, I'm sure somebody knows, right? You guys are pretty smart. Yeah, just let me know. Anyway, just cut that shit up. I'm horrible at like butchering and slicing dead animal parts, but yeah, I tried my best and eventually I had a nice little diced chicken, and go ahead and add it to the yogurt. No, my spoon is gone. Oh, that's horrible. Oh, I hate that. Don't do that, that's stupid. Alright, so just make sure to give that a good stir around, make sure the chicken is entirely covered with that yogurt, and then we're going to put some plastic on it and then put it in the refrigerator for about 4 hours. Or you can put it in overnight, that also works. Of course, it's gonna get a little bit more flavor from that. Oh shit! Wait a minute, this only goes to 90. Fuck! Well, I need to use my camera for this. So I can't show you that. Oh well, I'll be back in some minutes and some hours. Alright, it's been 4 hours now. And we're going to take out our chickens. It's really dark in here. Christ. Nothing like a bit of Impro at cooking, signature shaky cam and walking around pointless footage. Eh? Oh dear. Alright, so let's move on with the recipe. In a pan we're going to fry up, or no, it's actually called sauté. I think that's the proper word. Yeah, I'm so French. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to sauté some onions and some garlic. I just thought I'd share this neat little trick with you guys on how to make an onion chop into pieces too. It's moderately useful, it's kind of fun to do, so I like to do it. Yeah, just cut off a little slice on the edge there so you can stand it up. And then you're just gonna do vertical cuts, starting from almost at the very top, going through to the very bottom. Just do that across the entire length of the onion. And then you're going to flip the onion over and do it on the other side of it. And then you're just gonna chop straight down and you're going to have perfectly, beautifully diced onions without all the hassle of hassling, like hassle. So, we're just gonna go ahead and saute our onions in this here butter. You're going to add a little bit of salt on the onions just to drive that water out and it'll give them a bit of a better surface. Anyway, you'll know they're about done when they're translucent, almost turning golden brownish, and then it's time to add the garlic. So just give that garlic a quick stir around in the pan and then add your chicken, your marinated chicken. Just chuck the yogurt in there as well and this dish is pretty much done. You're just going to gently simmer this mixture until the chicken is entirely cooked through. And then you're going to serve it with some rice perhaps, some naan bread or whatever else you have. I went ahead and added about half a can of coconut milk. This is entirely optional and I don't know if I recommend it, it's up to you. I like the flavor of it though, it gives it a little bit more richness. You can also add just regular full fat cream into this if you want to. If you want to make it a bit more luxurious. Or, you know, you could, add like a phone. That's also a recommended ingredient. Oh dear. Yeah, the rest of this video is going to be shot in, shaky cam mode because I entirely fucked up everything by spilling butter chicken on my camera phone. That's just great. I decided to serve this with rice and I felt a little bit adventurous, so I thought I'd try my hands on, some fancy plating techniques. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, but I think it turned out quite well actually. If you want to impress someone, maybe this isn't the best way, but if you want to make something a bit more fancy than just putting rice on a plate. So basically you just put rice in a bowl, make a little indentation into the rice, pour in some soy sauce and or some butter at the bottom there, and you just flip it over on a plate, and there you have your rice dome structure, yeah. Anyway, just go ahead and pour your buttered chicken on top of the rice, and garnish with a bit of coriander perhaps. Of course you can use fresh if you have access to it. Bloody winters, no coriander available in the supermarkets. Oh well, here's the final product. It might not look all that good because my camera was kind of being a bitch. Anyway, it tasted really good. Really kind of different with Indian flavors. Not often I eat or cook Indian stuff. Anyway, if you like this video, or if you didn't like this video, please, throw a comment below. Tell me what I did wrong, tell me what I did right. Same old, same as the other videos. Anyway, if you have any video requests or requests for recipes, you can send them to me as a YouTube PM and I will take a look. I suppose that's all for now. Thanks for watching, everybody, and remember, don't put your food in your telephone because it might stop working. Like mine sort of did. Fuck. Alright, until next time, people, goodbye.